Advocate Malesela Teffo was back in the High Court sitting in Pretoria today, and it's not for the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. He's facing his own legal battles as the Legal Practice Council wants him to be struck from the role or suspended. The watchdog has told the court it received over 20 complaints against the controversial lawyer. eNCA reporter Silindelo Masikane has been tracking this story for us, and she joins us now. Silindelo, of course, you've been following the Senzo Meyiwa trial in detail in court, and you've been first-hand witness to some of the goings-on related to Advocate Malesela Teffo's own legal battles. Take us through what came out of the argument today from the LPC in court.
So what we know is that usually these kinds of proceedings usually actually only take a day. But because of the gravity of what's being asked by the LPC against Teffo, the court then indulged Malesela Teffo in terms of an extended hearing, saying that today was really them giving him almost special treatment, really, because he's actually had a number of months, several months, to be able to prepare a defense, because since yesterday he's been asking the court to be able to obtain legal representation and craft a defense against these complaints. But they're saying, listen, these complaints date back to 2021, some as far back as 2019. There's actually proof that there's been correspondence between you and the LPC where they've asked you to respond to these complaints, but you've blatantly refused. He denies this and says that he's never received any correspondence from the LPC, and that this week, in fact, is the first time he's hearing of all these allegations and these complaints. But the crux of it, the LPC is saying that Teffo is just simply not a fit and proper person to be practicing the law. There are allegations and complaints about misappropriation of funds, fraud, corruption, intimidation, assault, and they're saying all of these basically give the court no choice but to either strike him off the roll or, as a second prayer, they're asking for him to be suspended. Let's take a listen to what the lawyer for the LPC had to say.
Based on the factual allegations that we put to this court that have not been controverted, the evidence clearly dishonesty. One, to the members of the public that entrust him with their matters. Two, to the courts. And I've made reference to instances where the respondent misled court. I've made reference to instances where he's misled the public that entrusted him with their funds and their matters. That is the sum total where we say the respondent, with respect, lacks honesty, integrity, and reliability.
Slee, so he's facing some very serious charges. He's representing himself. What did he have to say for himself? And we're expecting some startling claims to come from him, given the kind of utterances he's made during the Senzo Meyiwa trial.
Yeah. So I had actually asked him yesterday whether he was going to bring legal representation, and he's quite adamant that he's going to represent himself because he has no idea exactly why he's been brought to court. But of course, then requesting a postponement to be able to get legal representation and to be able to craft a defense against these allegations, which he, of course, denies and says that they've been made up. In fact, that it's a revenge tactic from all these quarters that are trying to basically punish him for his role, not only in the Meyiwa murder trial, but his cases in particular against the SAPS, which he says those labor disputes, he gets judgments against the police where his clients are actually ordered to be, for example, reinstated into the police force if they are complaining around the fact that they've been dismissed unfairly. So he says that this is just purely a personal vendetta against him, and that the president, the police minister, the NPA are all colluding to try and disbar him. Let's take a listen.
I have never laid my eyes on the allegations, spurious allegations, frivolous, fabricated, insinuation, serious insinuation, denting my name. Fortunately, I know the reason why I'm here today and why what he has read, is because of the retaliation from the SAPS, from the NPA, from the court, this North Gauteng court, and the office of the president. There's a retaliation, but nothing else. And I can meet it. I can make a match. I'm the relevant match.
Lastly, in light of the fact that these hearings usually take a day, as you say, and that they've already made an allowance to allow it to go longer, when do we expect a judgment?
Well, at this point, judgment has been reserved. The court, or the justices, should I say, Justice Bukako as well as Justice Nyati, say that they need some time to just look over the documents before them. I mean, the founding papers are over 1,000 pages, and they're saying that in due course they will announce a date in which they will deliver judgment. But it seems Teffo is anticipating the worst and has informed me that if he is struck off the roll, then he will be appealing.
Thank you very much. We'll keep a lookout for that judgment. Certainly it's bound to make headline news. Silindelo Masikane following that story for us.